It is Inauguration Day. Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are set to be sworn in as President and Vice President of the United States at 11 o'clock. Are you planning to watch the historical event? We have a poll open this morning. It's been open for about an hour. You can go ahead and vote right now at WFAA.com/vote now, or go through our app to weigh in. 77% of you who have voted so far say you will be watching. While you do that, let's bring in Chris Sadeghi. Chris, today looks a lot different.
A lot different. It's usually such an impressive sight to see those thousands of people on the Capitol Mall shoulder to shoulder. Not going to have that this year, although we're going to have still a pretty impressive sight. The field of flags, 191,000 flags on the Capitol Mall representing all the states and U.S. territories. Now, there are not going to be people there. They're being discouraged from going to D.C. for the 59th inauguration due to the coronavirus and security concerns. The city has been mostly locked down and the Capitol fenced off, but most of the events will be streamed. We will also be carrying it live, much of what is happening today in Washington. The ceremonies will then begin at 10:30 Central. Jennifer Lopez, Lady Gaga, and Garth Brooks among those performing. Then at 11 a.m., Biden takes the oath. The rest of his day includes a wreath laying at Arlington National Cemetery with the other living presidents and a presidential escort to the White House. Before any of that happens, President Trump will leave Washington at 7 a.m. this morning, bound for Florida, breaking with 150 years of tradition, leaving behind only a video message to America last night that wished Biden luck without mentioning his name.
This week, we inaugurate a new administration and pray for its success in keeping America safe and prosperous.
And security at the Capitol heavier than we even normally see for an inauguration because of that violence at the Capitol a few weeks ago. There are 25,000 National Guardsmen on the ground in D.C. All of them have been vetted, and after being vetted, we learned yesterday that 12 of them have been removed from the operation, 2 of them because of potential ties to extremist groups. Kara, back to you.
When Joe Biden takes office today, he will inherit a divided country. His first steps in office will set the tone, likely for the rest of his presidency. So what will he do? Here to help us gain some perspective is University of North Texas political science professor. Back with us, Kimmy King. Thanks for being with us again.
You betcha.
I have an idea, but what do you think is the biggest issue facing President-elect Biden today?
So I think without a doubt, he made it clear both during the campaign and continues to preach that beat, and that is he's going to push hard on COVID and the rollout of the vaccine. That getting that under control is going to be the first priority, because from that, everything else will follow.
What do you think the challenges in tackling that are going to be once he steps into this position?
The hardest part of any new administration is getting all of your people on board. Senator Josh Hawley has already said he's going to oppose at least the DHS for Homeland Security nomination, which Biden is going to use all of the different bureaucratic agencies to ensure the rollout. So you have to get your folks confirmed and in office. Plus, you may walk in with the fact that you've got new people who are there. Now, Biden has been strategic in choosing people that have some experience. This isn't his first time walking the halls of the White House. And of course, his familiarity, especially with the Senate, is going to serve him very well.
So the nation clearly divided right now. Is there a way to come together? And what would that even look like?
So, I mean, I think so much of that depends on the days going forward and the extent to which there is accountability for the actions that occurred, the extent to which truth and facts start coming out about what actually went down during the siege and what those connections are, and an ability to recognize that in the first 100 days, going back to Roosevelt, FDR's administration, there's an attempt to try to, in the honeymoon period, accomplish what you might have in common, trying to figure out what unites us instead of continuing to talk about what divides us, because the coronavirus is killing all of us.
We appreciate you coming back on. Always good to see you. Thank you so much, Kimmy.
Have a good day.
All right, let's get out to Mark right now. Mark.
All right, thank you, Kara. You know, we talked about those pardons and commutations at the top of the show. One that we waited for that did not happen, Joe Exotic here in Fort Worth, actually. He had that stretch truck limo outside the jail, prison rather, waiting to take him back to Oklahoma had he received positive word from President Trump. That word did not come, so he will continue to stay in that Fort Worth prison for the foreseeable future. Of course, the president up late, kind of waiting to the last minute to announce that clemency. 73 pardons issued, 70 sentences commuted. We're going to say good morning to Hannah Davis, who joins us now from Dallas on President Trump's final hours in office. Hannah?
Yeah, good morning, Mark. This is also a big day for Donald Trump. He's going to begin his post-presidency life, and he will do that this morning by boarding Air Force One and heading to Florida. Let's take a look at his schedule and, of course, those pardons that you were talking about. The president was working late last night with the final rounds of pardons coming down, granting more than 140 people clemency. A pardon was announced for rapper Lil Wayne and commutations for rapper Kodak Black and former Detroit Mayor Kwame Kilpatrick, as well as Trump's former campaign manager Steve Bannon and other Republican fundraisers. Now, noticeably absent from the pardons list was Joe Exotic, who was hoping for help from Trump, but he didn't get it. We spoke to Dallas attorney Brittany Barnett, who waited on word of pardons for clemency for her clients, Farrell Scott, a Dallas man, and Chris Young yesterday in Beaumont. Both got word late last night that their sentences are being commuted. They were both serving time for separate federal drug crimes, including one crime that involved shipping marijuana that resulted in a mandatory life sentence that has now been commuted. Now, so for some context, though, Bill Clinton did actually hand down some pardons on Inauguration Day, so this still could come down from Trump, but we have not heard any word that will happen, so his next chapter begins in just a few hours. Kara, over to you.
Well, make sure you stay with us all morning for coverage of this historic day. Good Morning America dedicating their entire show to the transition of power. And then, of course, you can watch the ceremony here on WFAA. We'll also stream it for you at WFAA.com if you are away from your TV, and on Facebook. It is 6:09 right now, and it will be an emotional moment for so many. A woman sworn in as Vice President of the United States. A closer look at Kamala Harris, her background, and her rise to history. Good morning, Runaway Bay and all of North Texas. So tell us, if you were stepping into this role, what would your first move be as president? Use the hashtag #IamUp.